Hey everyone, I'm Dale Berkebile, and welcome back to the Tao Te Ching review. So last week I did a recording based on the first verse of the Tao Te Ching, and this week we're going to talk about the second verse. And I'm doing this because it's something that is pretty interesting to me. I get a little bit of joy from reading the Tao. I learn from it every time I read it, and I've created this Hella Good Life, which is sort of a brand that I've created, a website that I've created. Hella Good dot Life is the website address. Um, that is focused on building a space where I can help people live their most rewarding and fulfilling life. And my purpose in life is to challenge people to become innovative leaders so that we can change the world together. And so hopefully you're enjoying what I'm doing here, and hopefully I'm challenging you a little bit on your thoughts and your beliefs and getting you to become that innovative leader that I want to see in the world, and also someone that's willing to join me on the journey to try and change the world for the better. So with that, let's talk a little bit about what we're going to do. As I mentioned last week, we are reviewing some things from Wayne Dyers' Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Lives. This book actually is what got me started or introduced me to the Tao, and I've read it more times than I can say. And honestly, the Tao has changed my life, and so I hope that you take this stuff seriously and enjoy it, and it's something that changes your life as well. One of the other really great versions that I like is Stephen Mitchell's translation, which is just the Tao Te Ching itself. Now, the good thing about Wayne Dyer's version is if you come from a Western philosophy where you're not familiar with the Tao, the United States, okay, for example, he translates it in a very Western way, so it makes it a little bit easier to understand, as well as in this book, what he does is he actually gives some ideas on how to apply the concepts that we're talking about in the Tao Te Ching. And so, like I said, last week we did verse 1. This week we are doing the second verse of the Tao. And for those not familiar with the Tao is it was written in the, oh goodness, I think the 500 BC, I believe, somewhere in that range. I believe it's about 2,500 years old. It's a Chinese text with 5,000 characters or something like that, and it's sort of philosophy, or philosophy, I guess, is the best way to describe it. But it's really some wonderful wisdom for practicing a better life. But you have to understand life. It's kind of a textbook for life to some degree. And so Wayne calls it the paradoxical unity. Okay, and we're going to talk about that. And let me go ahead and read his translation of the second verse. Under heaven, all can see beauty as beauty, only because there is ugliness. All can know good as good, only because there is evil. Being and non-being produce each other. The difficult is born in the easy. Long is defined by short, and high by the low. Before and after go along with each other. So the sage lives openly with apparent duality and paradoxical unity. The sage can act without effort and teach without words, nurturing things without possessing them. He works but not for rewards. He competes, but not for results. When the work is done, it is forgotten. That is why it lasts forever. Okay, so how does that sit? And does that make sense? I think that, let me just read the first part here again. Under heaven, all can see beauty is beauty only because there is ugliness. So to some degree, this is talking about duality. And although I may have understood duality to some degree before I started studying the Tao, I never really thought about it too much. It wasn't something that really entered my life or whatever. You as a young child are brought up learning about opposites, right? Black and white, and ugly and beauty, and good and bad, and all that kind of stuff, right? But oftentimes we don't really reflect on those ideas. And, but, as an activist, someone that is trying to fight for, against poverty and racial issues and global warming and some different things like that. Sometimes we enter into that space because we think we are fighting against evil, and we have to eradicate evil, right? But when we're introduced to this idea, this concept of duality, basically, this is something I teach in my mindfulness course called Self-Care at the Hella Good Life website. They're the same, two different sides of the same coin. Okay, so if we think of a coin, one side has good, the other side has evil, right? Good, bad, sort of a thing. One can't be there without the other. So if we eradicate evil, let's say, then we won't be able to understand good. If we eradicate ugliness, we won't be able to understand beauty, because really what happens is we're comparing one against the other, right? So if we eradicate evil, what will happen to the world? With that, let me share another thought that Wayne shares that kind of touches on this, and then I'm going to touch on another concept. Don't get caught up in the apparent duality of being right or wrong. Congratulate yourself for making a choice to be in paradoxical unity, a oneness where all of the spectrum simply is. Okay, and so what's this unity that he's talking about? It's interesting because the Tao was one of the things probably about 8 or 9 years ago that I started learning that sort of set the stage for me to learn a lot of other things. Buddhism was one of the things that came down the pike a couple years later. And I study under Thich Nhat Hanh's Order of Inner Being, which is just a Zen Buddhism. And the concept that they push is this idea called inner being. And the concept is that we're all connected. I'm connected with you. I'm looking out the window here. I'm connected with the tree and the plants, the grass, the air, animals, everything. We're all connected. We're all one living organism, kind of connected. And I affect you and you affect me, and that sort of a thing. Now, that's kind of a big idea to grasp. It can be kind of challenging at times. But it sort of opposes the idea of duality, right? That you must have good in order to understand bad, and vice versa, because we're all one. And so even those that would be considered evil in my eyes or someone else's eyes, if they're all one, we're all the same. And so there's this other concept of, if you hurt your hand, you wouldn't chop it off. You would just try to heal it. And so those things that are evil or bad, maybe we try to heal. We put a Band-Aid on and we nurture it until it becomes better or less evil. But at the same time, there's this concept of just being and just letting things be. So it's kind of this confusing sort of concept between the duality and then giving up duality. So my question to you is, share your thoughts down below in the comments. I want to hear your thoughts, and I want to hear what you think about duality. Can you see that by eradicating evil, we now undermine good? How do you feel about that? I mean, do you believe that, or do you think that's kind of BS, or what? Share your comments below. I want to hear what your thoughts are there. I also want to hear the next question that I'm going to ask is, so if you do kind of grasp this idea of duality, the next concept that he sort of introduces, and the Tao sort of introduces, is unity and connectedness, or inner being, from the Buddhist philosophy. How do you feel about that? Does that resonate? Does it make sense? Or is it just kind of way out there that you can't grasp yet, and it undermines duality potentially? How do those two things fit together? Anyhow, share your thoughts. I'm really curious about what you think about this concept. And lastly, what I'd like to say is, again, we talk a little bit about duality in the self-care mindfulness course that I have on the hellagood.life website. So if you want to go over there and check that out, you certainly can. I also have blog articles and all kinds of other stuff, that a lot of stuff that's free, some stuff that's paid. Go check it out if you're interested. But if you like what we're doing here, please share this with anyone that you think may be interested in this kind of topic, having these discussions, that's willing to share their thoughts down below, because I really am curious what you think and what others think about these ideas. And like it, give it a thumbs up, and share it, and subscribe to the channel if you think this is something that's kind of interesting and you want to learn more about. Okay, so thank you for listening this week, and we'll see you next week, where we talk about verse 3. And thank you so much. Peace, love, and respect to you, my friends. You have a great day.